so weird.
What you got there?
Hot chocolate, not made by a psychopath.
It's gonna be a fun night. Hey everybody.
Why is there a red box on us?
Relax, my God. Alright, it goes away.
Okay.
God, you just ruined the intro.
You couldn't see that, but I saw a red box and I didn't like it.
Alright everybody, welcome back to...
Oh, I hate when he does this.
Put down the phone. I'm Dan, and this is my wife.
Kylie, hi.
And this is our podcast. So today... we will be discussing the wonderful world of
Disney. I forget what we're talking about.
pets.
Oh.
God, how does this always happen?
'Cause I don't remember things.
That's fair. Two things, right? Before we start. One, Mandalorian was awesome.
Don't give any spoilers.
No spoilers.
Even though I was right, and he's like, no, and I was like, yeah, and I was right.
Anyway, it was awesome.
Okay, and what's the second thing?
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Okay, pets. So, yeah, we were, I don't know, struggling a little bit, trying to figure out what the next thing we were talking about is. And for some reason today, I just thought in my head, hey, let's talk about all the pets we've had. Because that'd be fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your first pet?
Oh my God.
P.S. We're drinking hot chocolate, and they're amazing.
Not made by psychopaths. Because if you use the Swiss Miss packets and you use water, you're a psychopath. You use milk.
I hope you didn't offend anyone watching this.
If I offended you, you're a psychopath, so you don't care. I don't remember what the first pet that I can remember.
Like, what was your first house pet?
A cat. Well, it was two cats that I can remember. Like, I don't remember.
Sure.
But it was, the one cat name was Della. And she was white and, like, white on her body. And she was, like, black and brown on her head. And, like, I guess, do cats have shoulders?
Sure.
They're the cat shoulders. And then I don't remember the name of the other cat. But we found her at my preschool, and somehow she was like behind a pipe, and it had a gate or like a brackets or whatever you call it, and my dad cut her out with wire cutters, and we took her home, and she was our pet too, but I don't remember what her name was.
Mine was a cat named Princess. That's like my first one that I believe we lived with. It's definitely the first one I can remember. But the cats, when my mom, I want to say it was when my mom lived with my grandmother, or when my mom was at work and I was with my grandmother, one or the other. We had a cat named Frisky. Well, they had a cat named Frisky, and Frisky would sleep in my crib with me. Like, she was like my protector. I remember that. Now, would you say, I mean, you've had all sorts of pets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know them all.
I've had cats, dogs,
Bunnies.
fish, bunnies, guinea
Birds.
pigs, hamsters, birds.
Bird. I love my bird.
Stop. I wish we could insert Lily saying bird.
Bird.
That's how Lily says bird. She goes, bird.
Lily sounds just like
Mickey. What's it? Mickey Rourke? Is that his name?
just like Ivan
From Iron Man.
from Iron Man 2.
She's like,
Bird. I love my bird.
I can't.
I swear to God, she sounds just like. Well, I might have to record her doing it and then just meme her in.
I had hermit crabs from the shore. My brother Adam got a lizard from the shore one time, and then he forgot to give it water, and it got dehydrated, and it shriveled up, and it was dead.
Wow, that's what we're talking about.
And turtles. We had turtles when we lived together.
Oh, okay, sure.
But yeah, I mainly...
The turtles that she made me give away.
Shut up. But I've mainly had cats and dogs.
Yeah, we grew up in a cat house. For sure.
I think my house was kind of both, but I think we preferred dogs over cats. At least I prefer dogs over cats. Because cats are sassy little bitches.
Wow.
And then they stick their little butthole in your face. No thanks.
Yeah, we definitely grew up in a cat house. I don't really remember what happened to Princess. I feel like she had passed away, and then we didn't have any animals for a while because I don't remember the time gap between having cats and not having cats. I just remember that when my mom and stepdad got separated, that's when we got Buddy and Lily, which were, they were probably I don't know, the cats that I remember the most for the longest period of my life while living with my mom, because that was probably when I was 13 we got them, and I moved out when I was 16, so I probably lived with those for about 6 years.
You didn't move out when you were 16.
19. I said 19.
You said 16.
Sorry, 19.
What to say?
So I lived with them for about 6 years. It was them two at the apartment, and then once we moved in with my grandmother into the house, that's when we got Baby, and then a little after that is when we got Holly. Well, Baby was Steve's cat, and then Steve moved in with us and brought Baby. And then my mom got Holly because she felt like she didn't have her own cat, so she needed her own cat, so she got Holly. And then 6 months before I moved out is when we got Minnie. It was on Danielle's birthday, so that's why I remember that. But yeah, so most of my life I grew up with cats. I didn't actually own a dog really at all until I moved in with Kylie. And I didn't really like dogs either. I didn't really have a lot of interaction with them though, other than when I was with Kylie. And then growing up, Nolan had a dog. His name was Fryer. Shout out Fryer. And yeah, other than that, I just didn't really have much interaction with dogs.
Yeah, I had I feel most of the time I feel like it was we had I always had more than one dog at a time, because I had Dollar, who was a Dalmatian. Then I don't really know how we got Dollar, because my dad left the house one day.
Came home with the dog.
And he came home with Dollar, and he said that he got Dollar from the firehouse, but I don't know how true that is. But I was a little kid. I was maybe a little younger than Lily. Maybe a little older. But anyway, so we had Dollar and we had Gretchen, who was a beagle. We had them together. And then Gretchen passed. So then we got Heidi, who was a German Shepherd Shar-Pei mix. She was huge.
She's a big fucking dog.
She was huge. And I felt really bad for her because Heidi had eczema. Which I didn't know that, dogs could get eczema, but the poor thing, scratched all of her fur off because she was so itchy. I remember my mom would bathe her and then put like all this lotion on her to try and like keep her skin moist, but her skin was so dry and from the eczema that it just like didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And then Dollar passed, and we got Zoe, who was a black lab husky mix.
She's like a farm dog.
Who, Zoe?
I don't know. That's what she always reminded me of. Like, she'd be like a dog on a farm.
I don't know. I love Zoe. Zoe was a big dog too.
Smaller than Heidi, though.
Yeah, smaller than Heidi. And then, so I had like bigger dogs aside from like Gretchen, who was like a little beagle, but she was like she was a big beagle, but she was a small dog. Dollar and Heidi and Zoe were all bigger dogs. And then we got Angel.
Angel was adorable.
Angel was a little Maltese, and she was like this big. She was so cute, and if you didn't groom her when she needed to be groomed, she couldn't see the poor thing. So sometimes I would take her like front hair, or like my mom would take her front hair, and we'd put it in a ponytail so she could see. And then we got Tinkerbell, who was a Jack Russell. She was nuts.
That dog was crazy.
Yeah, Tinkerbell was nuts. And Angel, I remember we were at camp, and at camp, it was like a big, like huge resort, I guess it was called. So a lot of people who were seasonals had golf carts. Mm-hmm. So we had a golf cart, and on the back of our golf cart was a basket. So my dad and my mom, sometimes when they would ride around the campground, they would put Angel in the basket. And the one day, Angel jumped out of the basket while the golf cart was moving, and she like broke her leg. I'm like, so then from that day on until like the day that she had passed, she limped because she decided to jump out of the golf cart.
She would always run with 3 legs.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. She wouldn't even put that leg on the ground when she would run.
It was adorable.
And then like cats, I remember, for some reason I'm like blanking. Oh, I had a cat. Dan's gonna be jealous because I had a calico, right? No, not a calico. What is it? A tabby, an orange tabby.
So jealous.
And we named her Sabrina. And then I had this gray. I don't know what kind of cat he was. I didn't even know cats had a kind of cat. I thought it was just a cat.
All these dogs have kinds of dogs. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Cats, nah. That's a cat. Here's a cat.
What's it called? His name was Binya. Because I don't know if you remember Nick Jr., the Gullah Gullah Island.
No.
You ever watch Gullah Gullah Island?
No.
Wow. Where's your childhood? So on Gullah Gullah Island, there was a pollywog, and his name was.
I've never even heard of it.
You're crazy. His name was Binya Pollywog.
Let's find
Are you gonna Google it? You're supposed to be putting your phone down.
I am, but I'm gonna Google Gullah. What is it?
Gullah Gullah Island.
Gullah, like.
Gullah.
Like that.
I don't know how
to spell it. You
don't
even know.
Give it to me.
It's not even real. It's not even real.
Yes, it is real. Gullah Gullah Island. There it is.
Get the fuck out of here.
So,
I was not spelling it correctly.
So he was spelling it Gula, Gula, Gula Island. So there was Binya Pollywog on Gullah Gullah Island, so we named him Binya Kitty Cat.
Anyone that's ever been famous was not on this show.
And I used to say Binya Kitty Cat, everybody's favorite cat, because they used to say Binya Pollywog, he's everybody's favorite frog. So, and then we got...
Nobody. I'm going to IMDb it.
And then we had a cat that we got from my friend Annie. Her name was Bella.
Short for Bellatrix.
Short for Bellatrix. And she was this fluffy black cat.
The show was only on TV for 4 years. I do not remember this.
Yeah, it's on Nick Jr. It was a kid show.
That is frightening.
No, Binya Pollywog, who's the shit. Gullah Gullah
That's because you watched all these weird puppet shows. This
it was on Nick Jr.
Fraggle Rock.
I didn't really watch that much of
The
Fraggle.
Muppets, like, that's all you watched.
Oh my god. Because you apparently didn't have a child.
Because I didn't like those things. Because they're friggin' weird. What does that sound?
I was gonna ask you that. I feel like there's somebody in the house.
It sounds like someone is swallowing something right now. I don't know what it is.
That we have swallowing
It's
ghosts
like-
in our house.
We're talking about pets. Maybe we have a frog and we didn't know about it. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, so we had Bella. But Bella...
It's freaking me out.
Wait, shh. I think there's something in the dryer. Hold, please.
You're right. No, I think you're right. It's the dryer.
Yeah, there's something in the dryer.
Fucking weird.
It was Binya Binya Pollywog. So, Bella was like, she was such a pretty cat, but like, she was kind of vindictive.
She was spiteful.
Like, say Bella was laying on a chair, like a recliner, and I wanted to sit in the recliner, but Bella was in the recliner. So if I moved Bella to sit in the recliner, when I got up, she would come and pee on the recliner.
What a bitch.
She was like, bitch, I'm laying here.
Damn.
And I've had bunnies, but all the bunnies that I've had, we've saved them.
Didn't you have a cat named Molly?
A Molly?
I don't know why. I had it like stuck in my head that you had a cat named Molly.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Molly. I did!
Right?
Yeah, because I saved her from the shelter, because the one year, it was like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I saw on the TV...
Haley just got to you.
No, it was a commercial for like animal. Oh, it was on the news, and I'm like, Mom, they're gonna kill all these animals. Like, we have to go save one. So we went and we adopted a cat, and I wanted to name her Elphaba because I like Broadway musicals, and I'm like a thespian, and Wicked is one of my favorite Broadway musicals. So I wanted to name her Elphaba, and everybody in my family was like, no. And I was like, fuck you. So we couldn't name her Elphaba, so her name's Molly. Don't ask me how we got Molly from Elphaba, but whatever.
No, you couldn't even have Elfie. Nah. Molly.
I forgot about Molly.
Yeah. I don't know. I remembered Molly. I like Molly.
But all the bunnies that I've had, we've saved. Like the one bunny I had, Thumper.
Except for the one that was on Welsh Road. You didn't save that.
What bunny?
Suki.
No, we saved those bunnies,
Yeah.
and then we let them go.
And then they weren't saved.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
Did you mark her? And then, or him? I don't even know if it was a boy or a girl.
I think your mom ran him over.
Did you mark it? And then you were like, oh, let me inspect the dead bunny body.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Freaking weirdo.
That's exactly.
Anyway.
I stuffed it.
We had,
I'm gonna give it to you for like our 30th anniversary.
We had, I'm just ignoring him because he's just annoying right now. We had a rabbit named Thumper. This is when I lived at my grandmom's house. I was little. And at my grandmom's house, she had like a gated yard, but then on the other side of the yard was this big field. And this was before, well, you know where my grandma's house is on Wally Avenue.
Yeah.
But it was before those houses were built there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just this big field. And we were playing in it one day, and we found this bunny, and it hurt its leg. So we took it in, and we took care of it, and we named him Thumper. And then the other bunnies we had, we found them at my parents' house.
Out back, right?
Out back, yeah. One of my dogs, I think it was Tinkerbell.
Probably.
It was Tinkerbell was like trying to get in the hole, and we saw that they were baby bunnies. Because Tinkerbell is a Jack Russell, so she's a hunting dog. So she was doing what she does, and we saved the bunnies, and we named this was when True Blood was big.
Hashtag save the bunnies.
So we named them Suki, Bill, and Eric.
I thought there was 4 of them.
No, it was only 3. It was Suki, Bill, and Eric. And Bill had died
Like right away.
Yeah. And then we kept Suki and Eric until they got a little bigger, and then we let them go outside of my parents' house. Mm-hmm. And then I've had hamsters, but hamsters are assholes. And Lily keeps saying that she wants a pet, and she wants a pet hamster, and no. You can have a fish.
They fucking smell.
No, it's not that they smell. It's that they're
smell.
little nasty things, and they friggin' like bite you.
Only cool thing about it would be putting him in the ball and watch Oliver chasing him.
No, it's not cool because sometimes they just sit there and they know you want them to do it and they don't do it.
I'm just saying, I would really like to see Oliver's reaction.
Oh my god, I have to tell this story. So, speaking of the hamster balls, I had a guinea pig. Before Dan and I moved in together, I had a guinea pig. I named it Fluffy because she was so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
And she was fat.
And she was so fat. So I bought a hamster, apparently they make balls like hamster balls, but for guinea pigs. So I would put Fluffy in the guinea pig ball, and she would just friggin' sit there in the ball, and she wouldn't move. And
I wonder why.
I'm like, what the hell? This friggin' guinea pig isn't even moving. Well, come to find out, she was pregnant.
Yes, very pregnant.
And they're not, by law, they're not allowed to sell you a pregnant guinea pig.
Kylie bought one guinea pig, and we got, I don't know, 6. Flash, Washington, Squirt,
Rhino,
and Pitch.
Yeah. So 5.
She bought one, and we got 6.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was like, what the hell? This freaking guinea pig's defective. Like it's not doing anything. And then she had babies, and I'm like, holy crap. So then Adam.
Are we really gonna let this story go?
What?
We're not gonna tell the story the way it should be told?
Well, I wasn't there for the whole thing. I came in at the very end when they were all born.
Right. So Kylie was going down the shore, and she said, hey, can you take care of Fluffy for me? Because this was at the time where I was living with the guys in the house. And I was like, yeah.
No, you were coming with us. So Anthony was
No, I wasn't going with you the whole time. Because we put him in my room. I wasn't coming with you the whole time. This is when I was in school and stuff. I was coming down and coming back. I was gonna do the in and out travel, which is what I did. So Kylie brings him over on like a Thursday night, I think, because then Friday she had work, and it was like the middle of the day Friday. I come walking into the room, and all of a sudden there's these little sacks of things in the cage, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You probably thought you killed.
I had no idea what was going on, and then I quickly was like, oh my god, she's having babies. And then I ran upstairs because Kelly was upstairs, and I knew Kelly had dealt with animals and with babies and stuff like that. I'm like, I need help. So Kelly came down, and we got all the babies out of the sacks and stuff like that, so she could feed. So Fluffy could feed the babies well and correct. But yeah, so Fluffy had...
You're the one that doesn't like anything medical and shit like that. You fucking took a little guinea pig baby out of the placenta.
I mostly watched Kelly do it.
Or the amniotic sac.
For sure. Kelly certainly did most
of
that.
So you supervised.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
It's kind of just like when you had a baby, and I was just in the room while you were having a baby.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to go down there and fucking catch it.
Hey, you never know, all right?
Jesus.
You never know. But, yeah, so it was like, I don't know, 4-5 hours. Kylie was working in a hospital that had no service. Mm-hmm. I had no way of getting in contact with her. And then I left her like a voicemail, and she called me. I'm like, you might want to stop by on your way home.
Well, no, I think I was coming to your house anyway.
No, you weren't. You were going to go pack and everything because you were going away the next day. And then, yeah, we ended up having babies. Mm-hmm. That was exciting.
Washington was albino.
Yeah.
He was all white. And Adam, his original name wasn't Washington. It was Snowball. But Adam took Snowball and named it Washington because of the wigs that, like in that time era, that the men would wear. Mm-hmm. So he named him Washington. Pitch was pitch black, so we named him Pitch. Mm-hmm.
I think I had them like all named by the time Kylie got there.
Squirt was the smallest of all of them.
That was the runt.
She was the runt of the litter, so we named her Squirt.
Mm-hmm.
Rhino looked like the hamster from Bolt. That's why we named him Rhino. And Flash was super friggin' fast.
She just didn't stop.
She was like... So we named him Flash.
Yeah.
And then Pitch died when we were on vacation.
Yeah, Pitch didn't make it a week.
No.
That was really sad because I was supposed to have Pitch.
Mm-hmm. And then Adam took Washington.
No, I took Flash.
Or Snowball. No, but it's... Oh, no, you did.
I took Flash.
And then I had Rhino and Squirt.
Yeah.
With Fluffy.
Yeah.
And then Flash outlasted all of them.
Flash lived, like, I want to say Flash lived for, like, 6 or 7 years. She had a long life.
We had Flash when we moved in here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember who was that. I think it was the second year. So yeah, it was probably, she lived about 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
She lived. She had a long life.
And Flash was gray and white.
Yeah. She was cute. But yeah, so that was a fun, exciting time. Mm-hmm. The only other thing that I had growing up almost always was a turtle. I had one turtle from, like, I don't even know. I got it when I was camping with my pup. We went like, we called it turtling. I don't know what you would call it, but like where we would go to,
like turtling. Me
and George, my grandfather's friend, would go into like a pond or a creek or whatever it was with a net, and we would.
Oh, like frogging.
Yeah, I guess it was frogging. Yeah. And we would, try and catch...
I didn't frog because reptiles freak me out.
We try and catch stuff, and we caught the turtle.
Other people did it.
So I brought the turtle home with me, and I had that turtle, I named him Hockey Puck. And I had him probably, man, I want to say almost 10 years, I would say. That turtle lived a long life. And then when I moved out of my mom's house, probably about a year or two into that is when I got the 4 little turtles that we named after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then one of them died pretty early. Another one died about a year after that. And then we had the 2 turtles all the way up until we moved into here. And now they live with my friend Joey. And they're fucking gigantic now.
Well, what happened was, I think we told the story before we told the story about, what's the cat's name? Ellie. We told the story about Ellie.
And I'm still under the opinion that a turtle does not count against a landlord pet, just so we're clear.
Hello.
It just doesn't.
But
it's a fucking turtle.
Our landlord is a douche.
Doesn't matter.
So he's a douche. So after the landlord saw Ellie in the window and we got rid of Ellie, I told Dan we need to get rid of the turtles. The turtles
never came here.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
The turtles never came here. They went straight to Joey's.
I see. I don't remember.
Yeah. No.
I thought they came here.
Nope, never came here. Went to Joey's.
Oh no, Flash came here.
Yeah,
poor Flash. If our landlord came over, we had to hide Flash in the closet, and Flash liked to squeak.
Yeah. We had to hide her in the closet and put a blanket over her so you wouldn't hear her.
Yeah, to muffle the sound.
Yeah.
Because she'd be like all the time. I'm like,
because she was in Lily's room for a long time until Lily was born.
Yeah.
So she spent 6 months in Lily's room, and then we moved her to our room.
Mhm.
But yeah, Flash was fun. She was cuddly.
Well, we forgot one of the best pets.
We didn't forget her. We just didn't talk about her yet.
Wiggles.
Yeah, Wriggle Love.
I got Wrigley when I was 20 for my birthday because my favorite at the time dog was a Yorkshire Terrier, and I've always wanted a Yorkie. Now it's a tie between Yorkies and Corgis because if you've seen a Corgi butt, it'll change your life. So I always wanted a Yorkshire Terrier, but they're very expensive dogs. So this girl my mom worked with, now she works with her again. Shout out to Colleen. She had a dog, and she unfortunately couldn't keep the dog anymore. So my mom, one day she came home from work, and she opened the door, and I remember being in the living room, And my mom opened the door to come in from work, and in runs Wrigley. And I freaked out. Wrigley was the freaking cutest. And then this one came along. Well, actually, he came along before Wrigley.
Yeah.
But
I was like,
when Wrigley, when he came and saw to see Wrigley and all, Wrigley fell in love with him and wanted nothing to do with me. So and even when we moved in together, she was always with Dan. She was like
my puppy,
barely ever with me.
Yeah, I mean, she kept you company when I wasn't there.
She did. There were many of Cuddles nights with Wrigley. She would cuddle under the blanket on Dan's side of the bed, and she'd lay her head on the pillow. I have tons of pictures of Wrigley just underneath the blanket. She was so cute. And
Wrigley was our first baby.
Yeah.
She was our fur baby.
And she was very protective. Like, she didn't seem like she cared about the kids, but she did. Yeah. Like, if something was wrong, like, she would go and she would sit, and even just like if they were sitting on the floor playing, like Wrigley would come over and sit next to them.
And Wrigley always played with Lily.
Yeah, Lily liked.
We used to play tug of war and everything. Yeah. Lily would laugh and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
She like Lily wanted Wrigley to like growl and stuff.
Yeah,
like
there were some times where Wrigley, she's like, I don't feel like playing, but Lily would come over with the rope and try, and Wrigley just be like. And Lily would be like flinging her in the face.
Yeah.
And then when Oliver was born, and Oliver was old enough to like, and he started grabbing and stuff. He
never really was though.
No, but he would like pull her hair. Mm-hmm. He would pull her ears, and Wrigley was so good. She would just like, and she would look up at us, and we'd be like, "It's okay, you're being a good girl, Reg." And she'd just be like, "Can you please make him stop?" But Wrigley, it's been what?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years now. Wrigley got very sick. She developed diabetic ketoacidosis. And
literally went blind overnight.
She got really bad cataract. Like, it was like Wrigley started to get sick, but the way we realized she was sick was like Wrigley was house trained, but she would start peeing everywhere, and that we knew that wasn't like Wrigley. So then we had to keep Wrigley in the kitchen, because if she did go to the bathroom, it was easier to clean up on the kitchen floor. And once we did that, we realized that the floor was sticky right after Wrigley had peed, and it was because Wrigley had sugar in her urine because she developed diabetes, and then that she had got ketoacidosis. So by the time we took her, it was literally like overnight, like she started to like go downhill, and we took her to the vet. Now, mind you, we didn't think anything like was gonna happen. So Dan, myself, and both the kids all took Wrigley to the vet. When we got to the vet, they did some tests on her, and they figured out that she had the diabetic ketoacidosis, and they told us that we would need to take her to it was, I forget what it was, like an ER, like an animal ER or something, but they would need to give her medicine. But all these treatments, it was like outrageous, and unfortunately we didn't have the money at the time. We still don't have the money, but we don't have the money to give her all the care that she needed. But she was suffering. Like, we could tell that she was suffering. And Dan and I did not want to put her through, on top of what she was already going through all this treatments. Like, we didn't even know how she would deal with the treatments and everything. So, unfortunately, we made the decision that we had to put her down. And we did it that day that we took her to the vet. Well, this was like crazy. So, and even to this day, Lily, until recently, Lily, if she sees a picture of Wrigley, sometimes she doesn't recognize her. And we go, and then I'll go, "That's Wrigley." And then she'll say to me, "Oh yeah, Wrigley's still at the vet, Mom." And I'm like, "No, honey." And then I had to tell her, like, no, like, I explained to her, I said, "Wrigley's up with the angels." And she's like, but is she gonna come home? And I said, no, honey, that's where she lives now. Oh, okay. She's just gonna live with the angels. I go, yeah, she's gonna live with the angels. But I'm like, how do I explain to a 5-year-old that, it's like, it was really like the first time we had to deal with a death situation with one of our children.
Yeah, because when Flash passed, she was way too young to understand.
Yeah, she didn't understand. She didn't even, like...
She didn't, I mean, and not that she didn't interact with Flash, because I do remember, like, sitting on the bed with Flash, like,
and
from
Lily
time to
would
time,
pet
and
her
Lily would, like, giggle and laugh, but she was only, like, 2.
Yeah, so she didn't understand. But, like,
2.5, maybe.
Lily was, like, 3.5, almost 4. She was almost 4 when we had to put Wrigley down. So she, and we had Wrigley cremated. Mm-hmm. So Wrigley is in our bedroom, mm-hmm. and Lily doesn't know that Wrigley's there. Like, she knows that there's a box, and she knows that the box is from the vet, but she doesn't know that that's Wrigley in there. I think that would freak her out. So, I just tell her that Wrigley's up with the angels. But now Lily, all she talks about is that she wants another pet.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying she wants a hamster. And I said no. So...
She has enough pets at Nana and Pop's house.
Well, yeah, my mom and dad have 2 cats, Jelly and Jam. And they have Ella, which you've all met. So... And the one day she was crying. And I said, why are you crying? She's like, because I want Ella to be my pet. And I said, Ella is technically kind of your pet.
Yeah.
And she goes, I just want her to be my pet, Mom. I'm like, she is your pet. I'm like, my God. She's crazy. She's crazy. But I would love to get another dog, just not living here. Because this place is too small for us the 4 of us, let alone add a animal. Like, when Ella's here, it's like, I feel like...
Yeah,
But I would love to get a dog. Lily keeps saying she wants a cat, but I keep trying to defer her to get a dog. Not that, I mean, I'm just not a cat person.
Wrigley changed my mind on a lot of things.
Dogs.
I was a cat person my whole life, but... Nothing is more exciting than getting home on a Friday night at like 2 a.m. and Wrigley is still at that step waiting for me to give me kisses.
Well, no, she would be in our room with me.
Not all the time.
Well, she snuck out?
Well, sometimes you just let her out. I don't know.
Probably.
But I feel like the longer it got, you like would eventually just let her sleep on the couch because she would sleep on the couch all the time.
Yeah, because it like and
then
Wrigley
she got to the point where she couldn't jump on the couch.
Yeah, Wrigley couldn't.
Well, she used to be able to jump on our bed. Yeah. And then that stopped. She could not jump on our bed anymore.
Wrigley was 12.
Yeah.
When we put her down. So what's that in human years?
I don't know. No one asked me that question. I have no idea.
Let's see.
She was old, but we treated that dog like a frickin' princess.
I can't spell. Hold on.
It's okay.
How old in human
Why don't you just write how old is a dog in 12? You made it so complicated.
Shut up. '69. So Lily.
Not Lily.
Wrigley was 69
yeah.
in human years when we had to put her down.
And,
so she had arthritis.
It was honestly for that breed of dog, it was a little bit young.
Well, yeah, and Yorkies tend to have problems because there's a lot of smaller dogs have like problems with like arthritis and stuff like that because they're smaller. But yeah, it got to the point where Wrigley couldn't jump up and down. And I didn't want to because Wrigley would sleep on our bed, but I didn't want to put her on the bed because she would jump off in the middle of the night, and I didn't want her to get hurt. So it did get to the point where...
And she didn't like dog beds.
No. She hated dog beds.
We had bought her several beds throughout all the time. I don't know. And she really
I
didn't
feel
like
like
them.
every dog that I've ever had has never slept in a dog bed.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Ella has her blanket when she's here, but that's not like a dog bed. But yeah. None of the dogs that I've ever had in my whole life have ever slept in a dog bed.
But yeah.
I miss having a dog, though.
I miss Wrigley.
Yeah, I miss Wrigley.
Wrigley was the best. She, I don't know. She was just a bundle of joy.
Oh my God, she had so much energy. She barked when she was happy. She barked when she was mad. She just barked.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, will you shut up? And she looked at me, and then she'd bark again.
She was just so, like, her face, and, like, my favorite part about Wrigley is that she could literally look like two different dogs. Because, like, all winter we would grow her hair.
Oh, my God.
And she would look like Chewbacca.
Once we would cut her hair.
And then we'd shave her, and you'd be like, who the fuck is that?
She was, like, a completely different dog.
It really, and, like, it was just so funny because she would get so furry, hairy, Chewbacca-ish. And then we would finally shave her once the weather broke. And she would be, like, this shaved-looking dog. It's just like, what happened to you? I completely forgot. I didn't even talk about the birds that I had. The birds. And I'm scared of birds. His name was Petrified. Shithead. No, I've had way more birds than that. Petrified of birds. I am petrified of birds. And we had birds. I think are they called parakeets? I think like so. in the pet store, the blue and the white one, and then the green and the yellow one. Yep, totally. I think they're parakeets. We had them when I was like little. I've had finches, and the one finch was like friggin' nuts and was like pecking its feathers out. It was that one. It went psycho. We had two finches. I forget the one finch's name, but the other finch I named AJ because at the time he was my favorite Backstreet Boy. So we named him AJ. And then we had a parakeet, and my dad named it Shithead. And the thing that made me so mad... I'll never forget that. I came into the house one day, and I was like, oh, you guys have birds. My dad was trying to get it to say its name. Yeah, and your dad was like, oh, what do you think its name is? I didn't know parakeets could talk. I thought it was just parrots. But apparently parakeets, you can teach them to talk, too. And my dad wanted to teach the bird how to say his name, and it was Shithead. But what my brother Adam would do would be to open the cage, not the finches, but the parakeets and the parakeet and the, what's the other ones? I don't know. I don't know what birds are. Not these kind of birds. He would open the cage, and the birds would fly around the house. Well, my mom and I would be freaking out. And we'd hide under the blanket. Because I don't know if I think it's the wings on birds that is what freaks me out the most. Or they're like talons. I don't know. But they freak me out. Like turkeys can smell fear. Going to the zoo, I get anxiety attacks because the fucking peacocks running around free. Like, you gotta let them fly. Lily said to me today. Oh my God, I was dying. Out of nowhere. I wasn't even talking to her. I was talking to Dan, and we were in the kitchen, and Lily's sitting at her computer, and she goes, I'm a peacock, Mom. You gotta let me fly. I looked at her, and I'm like, what? I was dying. Yeah, it was so apparently funny. Lily's a peacock. We just gotta let her fly. So good. But yeah, geese. When I worked at Aria, I worked up at the Bucks campus, and there was geese all over the place. I would bolt inside to the hospital because I was so scared of those geese. She would carry a loaf of bread in her purse so she could throw pigeons are friggin' rats with wings, and they're disgusting and scary. Are you done on your bird rant? No one needs to hear your bird rant. Seagulls at the seashore. You are not allowed to eat food around me on the beach or on the boardwalk because if a fucking seagull I will tomahawk shovel a seagull. Tomahawk shovel. Shout out. Tomahawk shovel a seagull. Shout out. I'll punch a seagull in the face. I don't care. I don't care. Fucking scary. But yeah. That's one pet we will never have again is a bird. A bird. Not my bird. Not my bird. Love my bird.
Nope, I don't love the birds.
Well, that was fun. Reminiscing about our pets.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm leaving something out.
What?
I don't know. It's just possible that I am. Like,
What, of a pet?
maybe. I mean, like, we got Ellie, which we didn't really talk about, obviously, a little bit.
Yes, we did. We talked about her in the...
So we had Ellie for like a year before we gave her to which basically now my sister. My sister takes care of her mostly. But yeah, so Ellie was our other fur baby for a year.
The fur baby that, like I said before, that he just came home one day, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And he said, it's a cat. And I said, why?
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, for you.
Remember
Why'd
that
you
at
fucking
home.
buy me a cat?
Remember that at home. Forgiveness is easier than permission.
Don't listen to him. He's a bad influence.
I might be, but it's a fact. Absolute fact. Well, are we done?
I guess.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time.